Oh, we're here at Richard Rasmussen's place with all the animals. I'm here with my friend Marco Aurelio Leal. We just took part in a really cool podcast talking about the Varginha case and other things, right? So later I'll leave the link here for you to watch, but now I'm going to do a really interesting interview with Marco Aurelio Leal right after the intro. So guys, we were at Richard Rasmussen's house for the third time to take part in a podcast, and it was about the Varginha case, right? A special about the Varginha case. Who joined me there? The researcher Marco Aurelio Leal. He was there with us and really made the show shine. It turned out really cool. Throughout the podcast, we also had a special appearance by Marcos Tadeu Siqueira, who told us about something that happened to him in 1994 in the Beagle Channel down in Antarctica. And he said that during the sighting, he was actually accompanied by Amir Klink, that famous navigator, as well as other witnesses. So his story was really cool too. After the podcast, we had lunch, and then we went for a little visit, right? As was the custom there at the house, right? At Richard Rasmussen's place with all the animals, right? And then who did we meet backstage who was also there to record something? Henrique Fogassa from MasterChef, right? We were talking, sharing some stories. He also told us about a sighting he had of a light, right? He doesn't know what it was. And then we went to the private farm, let's say, of Richard Rasmussen. I'm going to show you some images of this farm and then also of us at the Serpentarium, where there are also several reptiles, right? So they handled some snakes there, non-venomous ones, of course, and they also handled spiders, right? The highlight was when Richard put a spider on Fogassa's head, right? So I'm going to show you these images for us to take a look. We also went to Richard's house, and in his living room there's a beautiful aquarium, right? With some really exotic fish species there. I'll show you some images. In the room where we were, there was also the biologist Chico, who was handling and moving some snakes around, right? He was cleaning the place where they stay in Richard's living room and was moving those snakes. Everything was really amazing that day, right? We got there early in the morning and left in the late afternoon, right? And now I'm going to play for you this special interview I did with Marco Aurelio Leal, where we mentioned several aspects of the Varginha case, including photos and videos. Let's take a look. So now you're going to find out some new things about Varginha. Marco, first of all, tell us what you thought about our participation here on Richard Rasmussen's podcast.
Wow, Edson, I truly appreciate the chance you gave me to come here and experience this. I was already a fan of Richard, so being able to come here, especially to talk about what we love, which is ufology, was wonderful. And I was interested in how much he likes the subject too, right? He really likes it, and then we met Marco, who you already knew from the Merklink sighting. I was also impressed and went there to see it myself.
He talked about it on the podcast, right? This adventure with Merklink. He said the object came really close to the boat they were on, right?
Yeah, it got really close. It was kind of far away. And then suddenly, in no time, it was already hovering, stopped right above the boat, right? Amazing, right? He also shared audio, right, from a colleague talking about this situation. So it was really good. I appreciate the opportunity. And well, we keep up the fight over the Varginha case, right?
So, Varginha, what are the next steps, right, for the Varginha case? Yeah. And, well, regarding the testimony of the researcher Birajara Franco Rodriguez, what do you think? He said it's the mute guy, right?
Yes, that's already complicated. It can't be the mute guy, right? We already know he himself knows the thing there too. You know, it was influenced by the army, right? The IPM. Yeah, it's outrageous, right? And we also know that the mute guy wasn't there that day, right? He was at Marco's gym, where several residents saw him there, right? And the girls, Katya herself the other day, she was saying, how can they say we saw him if we already knew him, you know? So it was something like really bad for them.
There was something during the show that Marco mentioned that I didn't know about, that it seems you talked to Brigadier J. Carlos, right? And he had told me something similar in Curitiba, right? How did that go? Tell us a little.
So it was really cool because I didn't know he had also told you it was pretty much the same, right? We were in 2012 when we went to record with him there at Campo de Marte. Yeah, and then he said to us, if you bring up the Varginha case, we'll end the interview because I only talk about the UFOs in Brazilian airspace, that's all. Then the interview ended, right? I remember he was late to leave for Brasilia, the TAC was waiting, and James Fox was there too. He ran quickly. I ran after him to do the translation. Then the brigadier, he was about to get into the TAC, and James said, please, brigadier, tell us, did this case really happen? You don't need to go into details, basically what you asked him to. So, did it happen? We're spending money, a lot of time. I'm coming to Brazil. Was it real or not? That's all. Then he looked at us and said, okay, it was true. Then he got in the car and left. Then the following year in 2013, I remember we had the chance to go to Brasilia. And then we did the interview again, following the same protocol. Then at the interview's end, I recall he already about to leave to go home. Then James asked the same question, right? There was a little more time then. He laughed, relaxed, and said, look, I'll only say one thing, just one sentence about this. I remember he said something like that. Then he said something I never forgot. He said, look, translate for him. There are certain things that keep a man alive, and one of them is keeping quiet. Then we invited him to dinner, but he didn't want to. He went upstairs. In other words, he wanted to confirm to us that our search was genuine, it was sincere. There it really happened. It's not anything, that people think was made up, so something very serious happened there. And now, after all these years, since you are bringing so many witnesses as well, we've been doing this work. It was
incredible. And so, because J. Carlos had already told me this back in 2009 at an event that took place in Curitiba, right? And the little cat here liked Marco Aurélio Leal. It's an Egyptian cat here. Have you seen those hairless Egyptian cats? Look how incredible that is. And so, regarding the photo, right, we also talked a bit about the photo of Dr. Pedro, who was a police chief. He passed away recently. He said he had a photo. He had already shown it to Nilson Ciccone, to Patricia, right? Do you think we can get this photo? How is that going?
So, Edson, that was really interesting because when we were there in Varginha this January and we went out and we went to meet the police chief's children and we even met some of his children that I didn't know yet. And then, talking to them, they really remembered that Dr. Pedro used to talk to them about the situation he had experienced, but he was very afraid of exposing his children. Because the son even mentioned a problem his father had had at a regional police station in the south of Minas, about this subject. And then James was there and offered, look, if you're sure that this photo might be among the chief's things, because according to his daughter, he left a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. So she said she was going to sift through that material with her niece to see if we can find this photo, because it's a very interesting thing, since there were two witnesses who saw the same photo and don't know each other. And they talk about it.
And so the photo seemed to have two creatures, right? One kind of in a fetal position, right? And that's it.
That's it, Edson. According to Patricia, who was the last one to see it now, she said it was in a fetal position. It was probably already dead, and the other one, she doesn't know if it was dead. She thinks it was alive, which also appears in the photo, two of them. And you see, she says they were military boots.
Yeah, the boots show up, right, in the photo, right? So photos of the creature or creatures from Varginha do exist, yes? And at any moment, they might come to light. Now, regarding the video, is there an expectation that it will be shown, for example, in the United States? Because, I keep thinking maybe James Fox already has it there and is just waiting for the right moment to show it to the world, right? Because if they're going to show a tape of the Varginha ET, here in Brazil, it might bring some complications for the people who have it. Now, if the person gives this to the United States, I believe it will be less of a problem there, right? There won't be so much hassle. There won't be so much intimidation. Do you think so too? Do you think there's already something over there or not?
So I don't think there's anything yet, Edson. We're wow in this situation where it feels like every time we take a step forward, we take two steps back. Because we reached the family that possibly had it, right? Marcos Vinicius's family. Yeah, there's another lady we went to and got the computer from. The hard drive is right there. But then when James took it to the United States, yeah, it was on the last day he was about to travel. It was a desktop, one of those desktops with the CPU in the back, right? So he took it there, but then when he opened it there, it was missing the hard drive.
So, wow, it was missing the hard drive. It was one of those where the computer, the monitor is actually the CPU itself, right? Yeah, that's the one. So I believe that the footage would be there too, and then it would just be a matter of opening it and getting the hard drive where the footage would be. That's right.
And that's it. We went to talk to his daughter, right, who had been orphaned. And yes, she says she never knew, her father never told her about this video. But she was also going to dig through the computer files her father had left behind. We got the hard drive, which was given by the widow, and we searched it, we went through it, and we couldn't find anything. The only interesting thing was that there were two UFO videos, like, you know, when someone downloads something, you can tell he liked the subject, right? I remember her telling me that he used to talk a lot about the military activity there, but never mentioned any tape. So, like, I think this tape involves other doctors, other people who would have to authorize this, right? And Dr. Italo Venturelli himself, like other doctors there, it seems like there really is this secret, and some doctors don't want to get involved with what Dr. Italo is saying and what would supposedly also appear on the tape briefly and all that.
So that's it. So there is no consensus among the doctors there to release this.
So, yeah, it seems like one side is interested and the other side, the ones who were inside, say no, that it doesn't exist. So there is some agreement among them not to release this.
But that's the thing. We're going to keep researching, right? Just like me, Marco Aurelio, we believe in the Varginha case. We know there might be some confusion here, some contamination there, because it's been 30 years too, but the case is real, it's real.
It's real, Edson, after so long. I remember when I was 16 years old, I invited you to give a lecture in Sorocaba, right? At the first event I organized, you discussed the Varginha case using those same slides.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was still with the old ones, right?
Jamil was there too.
Jamil was there, the guys. So, like, since back then, we already had all this material. So it's something that has.
I don't even remember. I think I slept at your house. It was in the living room, right? Your dad, your mom, they were there. Okay.
Dino Nascimento was there.
There was a restaurant. I remember we ate at your family's restaurant, didn't we? That's right.
That was in 2002, man. Time really flies, doesn't it? It was that event that after it happened in Guarujá, you guys decided to do it. Then there was Dino Nascimento, Henry, the people from back then, right? Joseph was there too. There are photos from that time. And then, since I had the opportunity, which I think you also had back in 2004, 2005 after Varginha, there are so many people involved, right, Edson? Just like you calculated, about 150 people were involved directly or indirectly.
Exactly. Exactly. Just in my book, I think there are 70 or 80 people mentioned by name, not counting those who don't want to appear and so on. And then people end up leaving them out, right? For ethical reasons. But in volume 2, there will be a lot more people giving statements, bringing new information about the Varginha case.
Yeah, and I think it's important to keep this work going, right? Serious investigative work. All the ufologists who want to go will get together and go there to do this serious work. Because, man, only by going there will people really see what actually happened, something very serious. A lot of people got involved, right? And let's see if we can get the so-called tape of this being, or some evidence or a photo. Maybe it's with the police chief's family. They're looking for it. Let's see, right?
Let's see. I'll be hoping too. I wanted to thank Marco here, right? For this opportunity for us to be together as well. And so at the right time, we'll be together in Varginha as well, doing other research together. So that's it. Keep following our work. Until the next video, podcast, live stream, or interview with Edison Boaventura. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Edson. Thanks, everyone.